In today's video, we are going to use 3 different headlight restoration methods to help you decide what method works best for you. First, why do we restore headlights? While it definitely makes your car look better and adds value to it, so to speak, the main reason behind it is to make your headlights shine brighter at night and in low visibility conditions. Poorly performing headlights could pose a safety hazard to you and other drivers on the road. But why do headlights get yellow and foggy in the first place? Plastic headlights oxidized when exposed to ultraviolet light coming from the sun. Also, flying debris like gravel and road salt gets kicked up at your headlights when you're driving, which is a good reason to wash your car frequently. But if your headlights got foggy and cloudy despite all your efforts to preserve their original condition, and you decided to try to restore them yourself to give them that nice new shiny look again, you should always start with thoroughly washing your headlight first, regardless of the restoration method you choose. A drop of dish soap on a microfiber towel and some water should do the trick. Wipe the headlight dry and mask out the surrounding area, and we're ready to begin the restoration process. So the first method is a home remedy, but it can help with some light haze and yellowing. All you would need is some baking soda and water to form a paste-like consistency. Or better yet, use some toothpaste containing baking soda and peroxide. Apply the paste to the headlight liberally, and using circular motion, polish the entire lens with an old toothbrush or dishwashing sponge. As you can see, this method is very simple and easy to use. It only takes 5 to 10 minutes per headlight with simple ingredients we all have at home. Let it sit for a few minutes and rinse the headlight to reveal the results. For best results, you may have to repeat the process a couple of times. Now, the downside of this method, it only works on lightly damaged headlights. And here is before and after snapshot so you can see the difference. And we're moving on to the second and probably most popular method, using a headlight restoration kit. Sold at any local parts store for around $20 and comes with practically everything you need, except maybe some masking tape. This particular kit comes with polishing pads that are used in combination with a spray lubricant, lens clarifying compound that helps clarify the lens after using the polishing pads, a couple of sealing wipes to help prevent future yellowing, and a glove for the wipes. Instructions are clear and easy to follow, so let's get started and see if this method works better than the first one. I'm going to use some extra masking to make sure I don't go past the boundaries of this middle area. With the headlight already washed, the first thing we can do is try to use the clarifying compound. And if we're happy with the results, we can skip to step 3, which is sealing and protecting the lens. So after applying some compound to a clean cloth and with just a little bit of buffing, the lens is already looking significantly better. But of course, we are going to use this kit to its full potential, since our headlight is pretty hazy, and the next step will be to use polishing pads. There is a total of 4 surfaces. Using our lubricating spray on the pads and on the lens, we start with a pad number 1. Using firm pressure, we polish the whole lens back and forth in the same direction. Then moving on to the surface number 2, polishing at 90-degree angle of the first polishing direction. In other words, if with one pad you polished horizontally, with the next one you should polish vertically. Make sure to use plenty of lubricating spray. Once you go through all 4 pads, dry the lens with a clean towel and apply the clarifying compound again. Rub thoroughly until the lens turns clear. Now let's compare the results of the first and second method. Here is before and here is after. And all of a sudden, it looks like the toothpaste didn't do much of anything. So there is definitely some improvement in results with just a $10 kit. But now let's see what the third and most professional method is going to bring us. The reason I called it a professional method is because this is what they would do at an auto body shop, where first, depending on the damage, we can choose what sandpaper to start with. We are not limited to a few polishing pads included in a kit. which can't always accommodate the need. The rule of thumb is to start with 1000 grit sandpaper. I am using a sanding block to evenly distribute pressure. Using plenty of water, sand down the lens in one direction. And then move up to 1500 to cover up the deeper scratches made by the 1000. Always changing the direction of sanding by 90 degrees when moving up to the next grit paper, like we did in the previous method. And then finish it off with a 3000 grit. Again, 1000, 1500, 3000. But there are many ways to skin a cat, and if you're not happy with the result, you can always start over with a lower grit paper. I've seen people start with as low as 6 or even 400 grit paper and work their way up from there. Now, in my opinion, that is a little too low, and you're running a chance of leaving some scratches permanently. But it depends on the lens and the damage and what car it is you're working on. Maybe on something older, you're okay taking more risk. After going through all the sanding, the next step is to wash off the lens, wipe it clean, and apply some rubbing compound using a buffing foam pad to remove all the haze from sanding. Wipe it with a clean cloth and enjoy the results. Now let's take a look at before and after pictures. And again, there is a significant improvement from the last method. So needless to say, this is the method I'm going to use to complete this headlight restoration. Now to conclude this comparison, let's quickly recap cons and pros of the three methods. Toothpaste is easy, fast, and cheap. All the ingredients are at your fingertips, but the results are limited and it only works on light hazing. Headlight Restoration Kit is more expensive, but it comes with pretty much everything you need to achieve better results. There is plenty of supplies to restore more than a pair of headlights. On the negative side, the process is more time consuming, sanding options are limited, and the pad's grit isn't always matching the damage, which leads to limited results. The Pro method gives the best achievable results. With various sandpapers, you can be flexible with different degrees of damage, but this method is most expensive. Unlike a body shop where they buy their supplies in bulk, you would have to buy everything individually, and rubbing compound alone is in the $50 range. So unless you are restoring headlights on a daily basis, this method may not be very cost efficient. Plus, you need a sanding block and a buffer and a buffing pad. So what I personally like to do is use a combination of a kit and 1000 grit sandpaper. Start with the sandpaper and then use the polishing pads from the kit, which are basically small pieces of finer sandpaper. Now with the complete lens being fully restored, I'm going to use the base coat and sealer that came in my kit to protect the lens from future yellowing. You can also use a special headlight coating spray. Just make sure to cover the surrounding area so you don't overspray it on body parts. And look how nice this headlight came out. Here's what it looked like before, and here's what it looks like now. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to be notified when the new videos come out. The links to all the products you saw in this video will be in the description. Thank you for watching, good luck, and take care.